Greg, obviously it was a bit of a heart-stopper in the end, or a bit of a heartbreaker perhaps for you guys. You showed a lot of grit to chisel your way back into the game in those last sort of 10, 20 seconds, and it just fell short. Are you full of pride, or are you just disappointed with how it just ended at the end?
A little bit of both. Really proud of the group. Like, second game in 3 nights on the road. We got stomped on here, 7, 8 days ago, whatever it was. Disappointed, obviously, in the outcome, because I thought we gave ourselves opportunities to win. We put ourselves, players put themselves in positions of strength. We defended really, really well in the second half, holding that team to 33 in the second half after giving up 54 in the first half. But again, we win a game in Brisbane the other night, Perth shoot 40 free throws. We lose a game tonight, we shoot 18, Adelaide shoot 33. So we need to go back and work on our foul discipline and how we're defending. But the frustrating thing for me is Sobes and Baines live in the paint, and between them they shoot 6 free throws. Sobes is on the rim all the time. He's getting downhill. We shoot 41 shots in the paint. Baines is around the rim the entire game. I feel for the big fella, because he's down there battling and he's so strong and he's such a large human being. The contact doesn't look like it affects him. So I feel for the guys, because there's some frustration in the locker room right now about what's happening. What's happening on one side of the ball is different to what's happening on the other side of the ball. So we need to either tidy up what we're doing defensively, or we need to keep playing the same way and reap the rewards of our pressure on the rim. That was certainly a focus for us tonight, and I think we did a good job of it. We shoot 28 threes, we shoot 41 shots in the paint, right? That's a really good balance for us. But the inconsistencies in what our guys are being rewarded for is frustrating for them, and I feel for them in that respect. So, look, I'm not too sure where to go with it, but I'd like to see our guys being rewarded for the work that they're doing on and off the basketball. It's not the reason why we lost the game. We gave ourselves opportunities to win, and we shot ourselves in the foot a few times, but it's taken a toll on the group. This week, 77 free throws in 2 games against us. Are we that bad defensively? We just held a team to 87 points. We held a team in overtime the other night. Was it 93 or whatever it was? So I think we've got good athletes. We play with discipline most of the time, and it's confusing, is what I'll say.
Is that something you might take up with the league, chop up some vision and show Butler and the guys what they might be missing, or what maybe?
Yeah, look, I'm new to this, so I assume that's the process. We'll always chop it up and look at it, but when does it start to shift? Where does it go with it? That's probably, and I need to understand that as a young head coach as well. I definitely need to talk to Scott and understand the processes and what's happening behind the scenes. I'm get the communication from the league now each week, and what the focuses are, and talk about freedom of movement and this and that and the other, which is great. That's a focus. And now how do I help our players understand that, and how to help them be better on the floor when they don't have freedom of movement? So that's something I'll definitely discuss and take up with Scott if needed, and talk internally as a club about how we move forward with it. But like I said, it's not the reason we lost the game. It's just I feel for the group in that sense.
Do you feel like maybe that was, so he had an outstanding game, but maybe that got the better of him at the end, and he was pretty frustrated towards the end, kind of alluding to what he...
Yeah, look, Sobes is a passionate basketball player. When he steps over the line, he's a competitor, one of the best in the league. That's why he's an Olympian. And when he's attacking the rim, he's a light body type, right? Bigger bodies can handle, busting through on screens and things like that. So yeah, I think it boiled over for him. like the guys at the rim the whole night, and that was the culmination of 36 and a half minutes or whatever point in time that was that he picked up the technical, and then he gets his fifth foul on a blocking call. You know, it's his foul. Like, but it's the culmination of, like, not just tonight. It's Wednesday night. It's last Saturday night. Like, you know, it just builds up and builds up, builds up, and tonight we saw the explosion from it. So, you know, it's hard. You can't take the emotion out of the game and you know, like, placate, like, what Sobes' emotion is. So, and we're never going to ask him to do that. Like, that's who he is, and that's what drives him as a player. So, certainly not going to ask him to temper what he does emotionally on the floor.
I mean, and he got text 30 seconds after his spray, which was weird. I haven't really seen that before.
Last one from me. Jace, obviously, do you sort of agree with what Greg's saying? I mean, you feel like probably as a player that you've just gone through the ringer this season, as a club in general, that you're just thinking, you know, when's it going to go our way? Yeah,
a little bit is that, but it's the consistency. Like, you try and, as a group, we try and talk about different things and how things are being called, and maybe we're doing this too much, and so you got a young guy like Gak who's trying to play with his hands up and trying to do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden he gets 5 fouls in 5 minutes, and then I look at other actions happening and I'm like, well, what's the difference? And so it's just, I don't know, there's been a shift in the last season and a half, and it's been different to my previous probably 6 years. Vandy just said the freedom of movement thing. I've felt less freedom of movement in the last year and a half of basketball than I did for the last 6 years. And then the early years was like that. The stronger you were, the more you could grab and hold people, and it's just a bit confusing. So I don't understand it at times, and at times I try and wrap my head around it, think, okay, we're starting to get used to it, and then it changes game to game, and then clearly the last 2 games, like, it's not the reason we lost, but it plays a big part when you're battling your ass off. We've been undermanned and all those things. We finally get some guys back, and we've got a group we're trying to play the right way now. We've got everyone involved, and it feels way better than it has. And then to work your butt off and not get much go your way, it really builds up, and so frustration starts to add. And I think you've seen that a bit in Sobes and a few of us, because it's just starting to add up.
Jace, the inclusions that you had this week, they've been really helpful for this team to get a bit of balance back in that.
Yeah.
Has it felt like that?
Yeah, that's the balance. That's the word that I said to my dad. I speak to a lot, Vandy, other people. Like, the balance was been a bit more right. We just haven't had enough of it this year. And so with everything that's going on, like, it's been at times mentally exhausting. I've been in the league a long time, and this year has really taken a toll on me at times. But the last, the week, I'd probably say that it's been a better feel, and it's just more natural. We've got people in positions, we've got people understanding the league a little bit more, and we're kind of not relying on certain guys to do stuff that they're not really capable of, or they're just not ready for it. It's one of those things with this league, it's so hard that when you find your role and you're really good at it, it really adds to your team, and that's normally the teams that do really well. And so it's a shame we're trying to find our rhythm at the point where we are now, but I leave here tonight knowing that we played our asses off, and it felt like we were a basketball team tonight and we were playing the right way.
That's really good to hear. Greg, how's Perry settling in as your assistant? And
Yeah.
What did he bring to the group this week?
Like, awesome to have the big fella involved. Like, I played 2 years with Perro on the Gold Coast, kind of at the back end of his career, and like the New Zealand guys talk about it, the mana that he brings. He just has an aura about him, his presence, his knowledge, his experience. And, you know, like, for me, moving into the head coach role, I needed, like, as a young head coach who's very infant in terms of my coaching pathway and career, needed an experienced head, mind, individual to come onto the staff and help the rest of the way. And when I reached out to Perro this week, and he said, yep, Vance, I'm in. I love it. You know, I want to help anywhere I can, anywhere I can. I can just be there for practice and tell you what I see. I said, no, like, we want you to come in and be involved the rest of the way. And he's come in and, like, he's just kind of observed these first few days, but he's started to find his voice a little bit. I think, you know, he gave me some really good stuff tonight in game. Like, his feel for the game is incredible. Like, this guy next to me, one of the smartest basketball players I've ever been around, if not the smartest, but Perro's basketball mind, and he just brings a calmness to the bench, which is really good. And I think it's been really good for Craw as well, to have Big PC next to him. So, yeah, really excited what Perro's going to bring to the group, his knowledge, how he can help our young big guys like DJ Mitchell, Gak, Froles, Big Ty when he gets back. So he's got a lot to offer this group, this league, and basketball in general.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Jess. That's it for me.
Anybody else there?
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Greg,